Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another indie movie review. Today we're going to be talking about Demon House. Before we get into that though, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description box. Demon House is a horror documentary by paranormal investigator Zach Bagans, who documents the most authenticated case of possession in American history. Quickly, let's get into what I liked about Demon House. It's one thing. I liked the subject of the documentary. I thought it was a really compelling story. Well, like just what I looked up on the story. Nothing that this guy produced, Bagans, whatever, Baggins. Nothing that he did. But if you look up the story, it is a really interesting story. So I'm probably gonna put in the title that this is a rant. So just be forewarned, you know, I'm gonna rant about how I didn't like the movie. So, you know, if you get easily offended, then, you know, you've been warned. Gotta talk about how over dramatized this documentary is. I just thought it was way over the top. And I should mention that I do kind of have a previous bias. The guy that is the whole reason for this documentary is Zach Bagans. He is part of the Ghost Adventures TV show. And I am not a fan of that TV show. I think they are a little bit over dramatic on the show too, and I think that this documentary reflected that. So I do have a little bit of a bias. I was kind of expecting this going into the documentary, so I just felt like this documentary went on for way too long. I think it would have been way better and way more compelling as an episode in the show, just an hour-long episode. I don't think it needed to be a feature film. I feel like this is I don't know if this is going to be an unpopular opinion, or maybe it's just going to come off as really harsh, but everything that happened to the actual documentary crew, like Bagans and his crew, I thought looked incredibly staged. I just think it did. Basically, kind of the premise around this house, or the story around this house, is that anybody that has spent any amount of time on the property, like in this house, has had bad things happen to them, either medically or they've gotten into like accidents, or, you know, just bad things happen to them after they've spent time in the house. So obviously, you know, as the documentary crew is going to be spending a lot of time in this house, things start happening to them. So they claim to have moments of being possessed where they feel extremely violent, or they're getting sick, or just acting strangely. And of course they have footage of this, but it just, to me, it looks really staged. And I'll give some examples. So really the first incidence of this is Bagans himself gets possessed temporarily and attacks another crew member. So basically there's like this security cam up in the corner of the main room in the house, and you have Bagans, the guy who's being attacked, and this third person who is also standing in the room. So you see Bagans attack this other crew member, and what makes me think it's staged is that the third person doesn't flinch, doesn't lunge forward to stop Bagans, doesn't react at all. He just kind of watches this go on for a second and then just calmly leaves the room. Like, either it's staged or Bagans regularly attacks his crew members. Another one is one of the other cameramen is starting to kind of feel dizzy and nauseous in the house. So he's standing and then he just immediately lies down, you know, like somebody who's feeling dizzy and you kind of just need to not be standing because you feel like you're gonna faint. He lies down, and once again, the other people standing in the room don't react, don't go over to see if he's okay or anything. They're acting like this is totally normal. So again, either this person gets dizzy all the time and does this all the time, or he's always tired and just lying down randomly during shoots, or it was staged. Another thing, Bagans makes a super half-assed attempt at actually trying to debunk anything that's happening in the house. And I know that documentaries are very biased. They're definitely told from a certain point of view. Usually the filmmaker kind of has a lesson or something that they want to teach the audience or show the audience. And it's usually, you know, it's usually one side of an argument. So as always with these sort of like hauntings or possession cases, you have the people that believe the family and believe that what is happening to them is real, and you have the naysayers that, you know, say that it's all a hoax for media attention. That's common, and it's happened with every huge possession or haunting case ever in the history of ever. Bagans makes a half-assed attempt to actually debunk anything that's happening in the house. So to anyone just casually watching, it may just seem like, oh, like he really did like show, like he tried to find a logical explanation. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like this guy who's making this documentary, Bagans, is part of a ghost hunting show. And at least to me, like the whole point of that show, like the whole main thing of that show is when they spend the night in the place that they're investigating. You know, they all go lights out and it's all creepy. They're walking around with their night vision trying to find the ghost. That's like the main bulk of the show. And I guess I just had different expectations going into the movie. I assumed there was going to be a lot of that in the movie. I assumed that they were going to spend a lot of time overnight in the house trying to catch stuff happening. That doesn't happen until about the last 15 minutes of the movie, and it's just Bagans who literally boards up all the windows and doors and just locks himself in the house overnight where nothing happens. Anything that does happen is shittily filmed. Like seriously, your one job is to document what's happening in the house, and apparently he sees this shadowy figure like walking towards him, and the camera just sits there on the bed he's sitting on, and of course like the blanket kind of gets in the way and makes everything all out of focus, so you can't see anything anyway. I'm not saying that the place isn't haunted or there isn't like a demonic presence in the house, but this documentary did a very shitty job of proving any of that. Then we get to the end where Bagans claims that he gets diplopia, which is just a really fancy way of saying double vision. Sounds way more serious when you call it diplopia, from staying in the house, which he very much could have gotten it. There are a lot of causes for it. Some of them being, you know, you're hit on the head. They can also be caused other ways. You don't necessarily have to sustain a blow to the head to get double vision. Then he claims that he has to wear prism glasses and that any type of surgery done on his eyes will result in him being permanently blind. So he's making it sound like he's forever gonna have double vision from staying in this house overnight. Which, I'm no doctor. I've had no medical training whatsoever, but every site that I've been to on the internet at least shows that it's pretty rare to have a case of double vision that isn't fairly easily treatable, or that isn't treatable at all. So I don't know, I just doubt very much that he's just one of these super rare cases where his double vision will never be cured ever. He just didn't provide any proof. You know, I would like to see a doctor's note or something that proves that, you know, he actually has double vision. And just other things like his voiceover, like the voiceover, he just sounded bored when he's talking, and the language he uses is just very odd. Like just every now and then there's phrases that just don't fit. So like at kind of towards the beginning, he's like, and this is the case that really fucked me up. Like, and it just sounds just so, so unmotivated, so unenergetic. It doesn't feel like it's a case that really fucked him up. I don't know. I didn't like it. I think it could have been a really well-informed documentary, maybe if this asshat was not in charge of it. Sorry, I have to say it. I'm biased. I know I'm biased. But it's because of this dude that I am leaning more on the side of there's no demons in that house. And like I said, I don't know. There very well could be, but this documentary, in my opinion, for me, did not do a good job of proving any of that. Right, all right, so I'll just stop there. Is it worth watching? In my opinion, no. It's really, really certainly not the $6 that I paid for to rent it on YouTube. So if you do want to check it out, and anything that I've said maybe is kind of, you know, swaying you in the direction of not seeing it, or like if you're thinking that you're not gonna like it, maybe just wait till it's a little bit cheaper. That's all I'm gonna say. So that being said, I'm gonna give it a 0.5 out of 5. I didn't like it at all. On IMDb though, it has a 6.8 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 50% critic score and a 78% audience score. And Roger Ebert gave it a 1.5 out of 4. So it looks like mostly everybody's liking it. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Hashtag unpopular opinion. So like I said, the only place I could find to watch it is on YouTube for rental for $6. I will leave a link to it in the description if you do want to check it out. That's, you know, do what you want with your money. Yeah, so if you've seen Demon House, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. As always, you can find me at all the normal social media places. The links for those are in the description. You can also find me on my blog at nightmaremaven.com, morbidlybeautiful.com, and on Morbidly Beautiful's YouTube channel, as well as patreon.com/nightmaremaven if you want to check that out and support the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I want to see how many thumbs down this video is going to get. If you're new here, subscribe and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.